Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can also see you. Hello.
Nice. Hi, I'm Matilde. I'm 31 years old. At the moment, I live in Berlin, Germany, and I don't know German. Don't ask me that. I will not be your buddy for learning German.
You
I'm
know how to
very
say?
bad. Yeah. Ein Bier, danke.
Let's go. That's the most important thing. Most important thing.
Right now, I work as associate marketing operations manager for Epic Games. My main focus is Fortnite, which some of you might know. They continue to buy some new games, so now we have also Rocket League that I take care of, and
I didn't
Fall
know about
Guys.
Rocket League. Fall Guys.
And
I'm a master in Fall Guys. Wait a second.
In North America.
Wait. Were we supposed to play Among Us or Fall Guys?
Among Us.
Among
Oh
Us.
my god.
All right. All right.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
you're a master.
Yes, I'm very good.
My job, what it is right now, I don't know. I do a little bit of everything for any team.
I remember that you were telling me that you graduated in
I graduated in biotechnology.
very much aligned.
Yes, and then I went to work for video games, which is totally another complete different way. And this was so good on a personal level to be able to basically evolve and be another self, because you have a picture of yourself of what you want to be and to become, but then it changes so much, like drastically in this case, that you're like, oh my god, did I do the correct step? Was it good? Was it not? Right now, if I look back, I'm like, yes, it was so good. Like, I cannot see myself doing something else right now. But before, it was so uncertain and I was so scared. Like, what am I doing with my life? All
Because
of
you were
this.
also very young when you took this decision, right?
Yeah, so I was still studying biotechnology, and I was playing a video game which is called Ingress. And back in the days, it was not so popular. I said to the person who was working there, hey, if you ever need help, let me know. And they eventually offered me the job. When this happened, I said to myself, let's go try, because they said it's going to be just 6 months, just a trial. But then I stayed 3 years with them. And this happened so like smoothly. But when I look back at it, I was actually like kind of scared. Like, what am I doing? I didn't finish my degree. So I was like, I still don't have a degree. So what if they let me home? If they lay me off, what happens? Like, looking back at those days, I feel like following my passion was the best decision that I've ever made.
I feel like we hear about that follow your passion like a lot. It started to a point that it got to be maybe a little bit cringe in a certain way. You know, when they say you have to follow your heart and hear what your heart is saying, because like in the end there is the reality in between. How did you like take it at the time? How were you? What pushed you to like go and change everything for 6 months? And how did the people around you also take it?
I feel like I took it as in I was crazy. I just decided to go in a different country, which I didn't know the language of. I didn't have a place to stay, nothing.
Okay.
So I was 20 years old. I was in the middle of my third year, third year of biotechnology, and I just dropped everything from biotechnology and I went there. I thought it would have been just for 6 months, so I said to myself, I'm gonna postpone the degree for 6 months. It's not a big deal. I started to work there, and then after 6 months they were like, we actually like you, we would love you to continue with us. And I stayed for 3 years in total.
And then you took the decision to come back and to actually finish your degree.
Yeah,
What made you get that idea of like, oh, I have this job, I'm just gonna get out and then I'm gonna go back? You were like 24, so a little bit older, like not crazy anymore.
When I was working there, we were working on Ingress. And what happened is Niantic, which is where I was working, split it from Google. And in that moment, I decided to go back to Italy and maybe work from there if they still wanted me, or they would have they were making decisions, because it was a big thing to get out of Google. It means you have less money, you need to cherry pick your employees. And this is where I said to myself, they're not gonna pick me, I'm just the last one who came in. High imposter syndrome. Let's go. And then they actually told me, we would love to have you still on board. And the next project was to launch Pokemon Go. which a lot of people probably know as well.
I mean, if they did not live under a rock, they should know.
And so we were preparing to launch Pokemon Go, and when Pokemon Go got launched in 2017, I decided, okay, it's time for me to like reflect what do I really want in my life. And what I always have valued in my life is to have licenses, diplomas, anything. I have diplomas in clarinet or music. I have driver license for the motorbike, and I don't have a motorbike. I have
You
scuba
have a license. You have a
diploma.
license diploma on the clarinet.
Yes,
Okay,
music.
that's cool.
Yes. So I really value to have the piece of paper which prove that you actually were working hard, crying during the night, having stressed, no sleep at all before the exam. I want that piece of paper that is like on the wall. I will never use it maybe, but I want it so badly. So what I did is I went back and I said to myself, let's finish what we started, and then we will think about the future. Is it going to be video games? Is it going to be biotechnology? Let's just get over with this one first.
Have you ever felt like you were, like maybe wasting some time? Because like maybe when you got back from biotechnology, maybe you were, oh, I spent 3 years there, but maybe I wasted them. Like, have you ever been scared of this?
I mean, there is a little bit of both. Nowadays, I could tell, hey, this wasn't the thing that I'm doing today. So I could have had a different graduation that could have helped me today in what I'm doing. But at the same time, I really value the fact that I know what I know for the simple fact of like just knowing things. And I really love chemistry. I really love all the matters that you were studying in biotechnology, like anatomy, anything like that.
Synthesizing drugs.
Yeah, they teach us how to make drugs from zero. But it is just a tiny bit. I don't do this. Disclaimer. I don't do this.
No. They do it. You don't know.
No, of course. I have another job right now. I'm also like proud of it.
Yeah, you must be. When you take a pause from studying, it's difficult to then go back to study. How did you find it? How did you find that switch?
So the most disruptive thing is I developed a lot of multitasking while working. While working, you have like, of course, you're at the PC, you have all of your tabs open, you're checking an email, you're writing a document, you're checking something else. And when you're studying, it is just you and one piece of paper. And the more you touch your phone, the more you don't touch the piece of paper. So it is very difficult at that point. This was the biggest challenge. Before, I had much more focus on one thing. After developing the multitasking, I found myself struggling to concentrate and focus on one thing only.
So like before you were saying that you struggle with the imposter syndrome, which like I feel like it could be very much natural for someone that it's like you did not study marketing or business and now you are completely full on business and marketing and all of that. How do you overcome this? Even though like you might not be overcoming this because you were still saying that you struggle with it, but how do you find yourself with it?
That's the question of the life. So the imposter syndrome never leaves you, right? It is always next corner, sneaky. Sometimes it is in one sentence that you just say it, and then after you say it, you're like, oh, I really think this about myself. There has been a situation in which I was put to survive, or this is the way I want to think about it. And I survived. Even more than surviving it, I did great because I did a probation time. And then after the probation period, they were, hey, we actually want you to stay. Cool. First realization that you did something nice.
Yeah.
And then the second time, they want me again in the team when they had very limited resources. I was like, okay, another good sign. So the way I'm trying to overcome this is I look at the back of my experience and I find that there are so many points in life that are validating your path and giving you I was at the right moment in the right place, yes. And maybe I was lucky, yes. But then I actually grabbed it and I made it my own. So I developed myself, my skills, my knowledge with what I was surrounded with. Yes, the imposter syndrome is always there, but I've met so many people that work with me, are graduated in what they do, and they still have the imposter syndrome. This happens all the time. As soon as you're doing like something which is a little bit big, let's say, or you work for a company which is big and it is known, everybody starts to feel like, oh, did I get in here because I'm lucky?
Like, I found it very cool, the idea that you gave about the remembering what are the little accomplishments that you did. There was also someone in chat saying that they're used to like write down little achievements, little wins that they do. Also very inspiring is the idea of like, if you feel like you got lucky, yeah, maybe you got like the occasion, you were at the right place at the right moment, yeah, true, but then not everyone would grab that opportunity. Like, for example, you at the very beginning, they offered you the job, you could have just easily said, oh no, you know what, I'm gonna finish my degree. But you were lucky there because, I don't know, they had an opening, a job opening, but then you were the one that actually said that, yeah, had the courage to put yourself in the opportunity.
My friends were like, you're crazy, what are you doing?
I actually have a question. Like, since you moved there and you knew no one, how did you manage to create, like, to find friends, to network outside the office when you were there like 20 years old?
Oh my god. I'm gonna say something which is both cool and very upsetting. When I was working there, I was an event manager. This means that I was traveling almost every weekend, or let's say 3 weekends a month, to do an event. And this was my social life, because literally I would go there for the weekend from Friday till Sunday, maybe stay Monday to visit the city I was in, taking it off. And then I would come back, prepare the next one, and travel again. So the time that I spent in Hamburg is literally probably a couple of days a week. I found a couple of people playing Ingress that became my friends. We actually had a lot of fun together, so we went out for beers, dinner, whatever. And but it was really tricky to see each other because I was always traveling.
How did the people around you react to the fact that you were going for video games?
So let's recreate the ambience.
Yeah.
There was no Twitch, there was no live stream on YouTube, there was almost no network. Before, I was trying to play any video game because I really loved video games, but my family was so against it. Everybody was always telling me,
you're spending like 1 hour to play a video game, you're wasting your time.
And I never had a console, for example. They were really against Game Boys, PS, PlayStation, Xbox, anything. So the only one way I could play video games, it was on the computer, because computer you could use it for so many other things. I don't think they even know that I was playing video games sometimes. I just thought,
I needed to do researches.
Yes, I was playing there, and one day I went to one of the events of Ingress and I met Anne, which later became my manager. And yeah, on Hangout, she was telling me, hey, would you like to come and work with us? And that's where I pinched myself and I was like, is this real? Is this happening? And then I told it to my mom and she was like, what? You're kidding me. She just went to my father and she grabbed him. She was like, this is just what happened. And they were like, wow. Please play anything you like from now on.
Do you take your video games? Please continue.
Can you imagine after 20 years being told play anything
So that's
you want?
what I had to do. I had to find a job for you to accept me playing video games.
Yeah, and everybody from that moment on in the family were like, we don't know what you do, but this is so cool. Especially in Italy, I don't know if it's the same in other countries. When you talk about video games, streaming, anything, people go like, yeah, but what do you really want to do in your life? Like,
After that, what do you want to do?
I'm like, What do you mean? Does it mean that I have to choose among this and something else? Can I just do whatever I like? One really good piece of advice: don't follow your parents' advices.
Yes.
You know deep inside in your DNA what is good for you, will bring you to shine. Maybe you will be good as a lawyer, doesn't mean that you cannot be a Twitch streamer, because you really shine when you do something you're passionate about, and you really shine when you are in your environment, when you are among the people that do the same thing as you, and you can share the same passion and be like, can we do this together? Yes, fucking amazing.
How do your parents describe to other parents, like other boomers, what you do for a living?
Oh, oh,
Mine have the weirdest ways to explain it.
I feel like they're lost. Like they usually they're like, hey, if we have a dinner with our friends, do you want to join? And I'm like, why would I join a dinner with your friends? First of all, they're like, I don't know, maybe you can talk about yourself a little bit. They are so confused. So it took them almost like 2 years to understand what I was doing for Niantic. Now that I'm doing something for Epic
Oh no,
Games,
you
it is
changed!
the same. It's all back.
Yeah.
Like, can you explain again?
Yeah.
And usually I think what they say, it is like something marketing about video games.
So you were studying biotechnologies, but you were playing Ingress.
Yes.
What do you think are the qualities or skills that the person in Ingress team saw in you?
Passion in the game was key, I think, because I knew everything. Communicating in English, it was already a big thing for an Italian person back like 11, 12 years ago. And the other thing was I helped them to understand the place, Rome itself. I didn't live in Rome, but I helped them understand why we shouldn't play next to a highway, like a tangenziale, because but they couldn't know, right? They were just, planning the event and trying to organize it, get in touch with the authorities. This is something which is very fun. Every time I had to do an event, I had to get in touch with the authorities and let them know that we will have maybe 2,000 people in their country, in their city, playing with a lot of colors, flags. It's not a manifestation. We're not going to destroy the city. The fact that I helped them to figure out what was the safe zone where to play, this might have been key. And then the fact that I just went and I was like, if you need help, just let me know, because I was so enthusiastic.
I always say also, like in on stream, that I think that the best thing that you can do, like especially if you want to enter into these kind of jobs that are a little bit more different than the others, is just to show already that you are interested in it. Like I have a lot of people that are like want to be like video maker for like some kind of stream and blah blah. I just tell them, just send them a clip of something that you already did for them and just tell them, oh, that's what I can do.
Absolutely.
What would you suggest to someone who wants to get into the gaming industry right now, in the big ones maybe? So like it's not that easy to be seen in these scenarios. Like you cannot like know everything about Fortnite and get a job in Fortnite.
There is no exact key, because the big companies, at least, they have their own way of seeing the future, what they want to do. And then depending on the role that you're applying to, there is a set of skills maybe. What I really suggest people to do is to not lose hope, for example, because as soon as you approach like one of these big industries, big companies in the industry, they're like telling you no maybe once or twice, and then you're like, okay, I like my value of course is not at the top as their value. This is something that happens a lot of time. Like a lot of friends also looking for a job, I had a struggle to go through this. Being rejected, it is never a nice experience, but it's such a building experience. When you get rejected, always ask why. Why wasn't this? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You can ask to the HR person who is in contact with you and say like, why am I not your person? Why am I not the person you're looking for right now? And this gives you always new point of views on what did they see in yourself. I always suggest people to talk in the mirror, see how you behave. This is super
Okay.
weird, and it gets you to see all the little things that you do that
So
you don't
maybe
want to see.
record yourself also.
You can record yourself, but recording yourself is too easy. Right now, we are facing cameras every day. Like, I can record myself in the phone and be like, whatever. But if you talk to yourself in the mirror
Oh.
and you see it in real life, you're like, oh, I'm doing this. This is not nice. These are the things when you want to present. I get to present sometimes in front of 300 people. These 300 people are professionals working in Epic Games, and I'm like, how do I want to look like in front of them? Let's think about like the behavior and everything.
Can you imagine you walking and talking in front of the mirror? Like
I'm not cool in front of the mirror. I'm so clumsy. There is no way to know what it's gonna work beforehand. It is just feeling confident. It is one of the few things that you can control in this, but don't be too bold. Like when you have an interview with somebody and you just want to give the biggest answer because you want to be the one who knows everything. Don't do that. Maybe it is easier to say, "Hey, I didn't get the question," or "This question doesn't really, like, I cannot tackle it because I don't have the knowledge of this specific field." And then people value your honesty way more than you being like, "Oh, I know how to answer this," and then you say some bullshit because they know better for sure. So it is better sometimes to just take a step back and be like, I don't know this, but I would be so willing to know more about it and to learn from you. And this is like when you show them, maybe you don't have all the graduated, like all the marks, all the skills, but you show them, I am one of those people who want to grow and I want to be there to build something with you and be a professional with the company, within the company.
So what would you say instead to someone that is like going right now to like they're doing their university, they're missing like 4 exams, let's say, and they realize that they don't like what they're doing? What would you suggest them?
So I have two different point of views. The first one is me. I want the paper. I am the one who wants the paper on the wall, and I want to see this paper every day as a proof that
Do
I
you
was
actually have it on
there.
your wall?
Not here, but I'm
Okay.
planning on bringing it here because it's in Italy actually. But I want this piece of paper on the wall to remind myself every day when I was crying, not sleeping, I had exams, anxiety, I didn't want to see that one professor. And if you're missing just 4 exams, think about how much you've done already. Like you have such a big package back at you that 4 exams are nothing. Maybe they are the biggest ones, you know? Maybe they are the hardest ones, or there is this one professor which hates you. After a while, nobody will take it away from you. It is something that you have accomplished and you can bring it in your backpack every day and be like, I actually have it
You
earned.
know, I'm a doctor in this field.
I just had this.
Yeah. Graduated.
I happen to be a doctor.
I graduated with minimum grades, but still graduated.
Well, my graduation points is 86 out of 110.
Did anyone ever ask you about your grade and your?
Never, ever.
Same, never.
Always accept whatever they give you.
Yeah.
Don't think
Oh my
about,
God,
oh my
yes.
God, I need 30, 30
L 30 plus.
L
Yeah, 30
plus,
plus.
yeah.
Yeah, A plus.
Italian
Yeah.
system.
Also because like I learned from my sister back in the days, she was like still studying to become like a veterinary. She had an exam. She got like 21, no 18. She got 18 and she was like, no, I don't like it, I want to get a better grade, blah, blah, blah. She refused it and then she had to do it like 4 more times and she never passed it. And from that experience, I learned like, no, accepting everything. Everything goes into the saccoccia. To let you know, people, in Italy, we get graded from 0 to 30. Just 18 is like the minimum. Yeah. What was the second point of view? Like you were saying, like, do it for the degree.
Yes, second point of view, it is experiences, right? So I'm missing for exams. I don't want to do this anymore. This is like bothering me. My mom is pressuring me to finish my degree because they are paying for my school. It's a lot. Or I am working to pay my own school. It's a lot to take care of. And then you get an idea, something else you're passionate about. You want to develop something else. You want to try something else. You get offered a job. I don't know if it's a friend, if it's somebody you know, try it out. You can always freeze your graduation. Not paying it, freezing it means you don't have to pay for it, and you can get back to it maybe in a couple of months or the next year. Try something else. You might get another perspective on your life, on what you want to do, on what is your passion. Do I really still want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever else you're thinking about? Just don't close the door. The door is still open. You don't need to take care of that thing right now. We just, don't watch it, and we come back to it a little bit later.
I also feel like if you get an opportunity, if you don't grab it, maybe then you were gonna be like, oh shit, I didn't grab it, blah blah blah. I feel that it would be better to feel like I fucked up. I did a bullshit. Like I wasted 1 year. I'd rather be like that than actually thinking, what if I accepted it? What if I actually decide to go for that job? What if I actually open that business? All the what ifs will like just be inside of me, like destroying me from the inside. That would be a pain. So for sure. Thank you so freaking much for this. It was super, super enjoyable.
Thank you for hosting me. It was very smooth. I thought I would have been much more nervous.
Don't want you. It's okay.
Yeah, it is actually okay. And thank you, chat, for listening to all my rants and
thank you for sharing
my
your
stories.
wise knowledge.